Right now, as you are watching this, 40 million people across the United Kingdom are sitting directly in the path of one of the most relentless weather systems we have seen in decades. And if you live in the southwest, what is heading your way tonight could be the worst downpour since January. But here is the thing most forecasters are not telling you. There is a hidden pattern behind all of this rain. And once you understand it, you will know exactly what is coming for the rest of this week and beyond. Stay with me, because at the 5-minute mark, I am going to reveal the exact day this miserable weather finally breaks, and trust me, you will want to mark that date on your calendar. First, let me give you the number that stopped me in my tracks today. Aberdeen, Scotland, has just recorded a full 14 days without a single hour of sunshine. 14 days. That is the longest sunless stretch since records began in 1957. Let that sink in. Nearly 70 years of weather records, and what Aberdeen is experiencing right now is unprecedented. But Aberdeen is not alone. January's rainfall across the southwest of England and South Wales came in at 50% above average, making it the 12th wettest January on record. Every single day since the 1st of January, rain has fallen somewhere in Devon and Cornwall, every single day. And tonight, it is not stopping. Now, before we go any further, drop a comment below telling me where you are watching from right now. Your city, your town, your village. I read every single comment, and I will reply with specific forecast details for your area. The more specific you are, the better I can help you prepare for what is coming. So why is this happening? Why has the United Kingdom been trapped under this endless grey blanket of rain since the new year began? The answer lies 7 miles above your head. The jet stream, that powerful ribbon of air racing across the Atlantic, has shifted dramatically further south than it should be at this time of year. Think of it as a motorway for storms. Normally, that motorway runs well to the north of us, sending the worst weather up towards Iceland and Scandinavia. But right now, it has dropped south, and it is aimed directly at the British Isles like a fire hose pointed straight at your front door. And here is the twist that makes it even worse. A massive block of high pressure has parked itself over Scandinavia, acting like a wall. The storms roll in from the Atlantic, hit that wall, and instead of passing through and clearing out, they stall right over us. Meteorologists call this a blocked pattern, and it is the reason you have not seen the sun properly in weeks. Now, let me take you through exactly what is happening right now, city by city, region by region. And do not skip ahead, because at the 3-minute 20 mark, I am going to tell you about a specific weather event heading for the north that could catch a lot of people completely off guard. Let us start with London and the southeast. Right now, the temperature in the capital is sitting at around 7 degrees Celsius. During the day, it climbs to 11 or 12 degrees, which is remarkably mild for mid-February. Tonight, it will drop to around 9 degrees. The chance of rain this evening is 40%, and here is a fascinating detail. The 10th of February is historically the single wettest day in the entire month of February for London, with an average daily rainfall of 3.66 millimeters. So statistically, tonight was always going to be wet. But the real danger is not the rain itself. It is what the rain is falling onto. The ground across London and the southeast is completely waterlogged after weeks of relentless downpours. Every additional drop now has nowhere to go. That means surface water on roads, potential flooding in low-lying areas, and treacherous driving conditions, especially along the M25 during this evening. Yellow weather warnings are in force across the entire region. Brighton on the south coast is sitting at 7 to 8 degrees, but do not let that fool you. The wind coming off the English Channel is fierce tonight, and the wind chill will drag the feels like temperature down to just 3 or 4 degrees. If you are anywhere near Brighton seafront this evening, wrap up properly. Now here is where things get serious. The southwest. This is the region taking the absolute hammering tonight. And if you live anywhere from Plymouth to Bristol to Bournemouth, pay close attention to what I am about to say. Plymouth right now is 9 degrees, warmer than most of the country thanks to the Atlantic. But the probability of rain tonight is 65%, the highest of any major city in the entire United Kingdom. Heavy rain and strong winds are driving straight into coastlines that have already been battered by Storm Chandra at the end of January and Storm Goretti before that. The Met Office has issued yellow warnings across all of Devon and Cornwall, and the flood risk is genuinely concerning. Bristol is sitting at 8 to 9 degrees under solid cloud. In a normal February, Bristol sees about 16 millimeters of rain across roughly 8 or 9 rainy days. This year, those averages were smashed before we even reached the middle of January. And Bournemouth, listen carefully, flooding has already hit Iford Bridge Home Park from recent downpours. The ground is utterly saturated. It physically cannot absorb another drop. Any additional rainfall tonight, even modest amounts, could push water levels over the edge. Bath, Exeter, and the Somerset levels are all in the same desperate situation. Remember the images of floodwater engulfing Langport after Storm Chandra? Those communities are holding their breath again tonight as the rain continues to fall on land that simply has no capacity left. Do not miss the next section, because what I am about to reveal for the north of England is something you need to hear before Thursday arrives. Moving into the Midlands now. Birmingham, the second city, is at 6 to 7 degrees with complete cloud cover. The day peaked at just 9 degrees, and the chance of rain is 40%. Some bright spells broke through earlier, but rain is now pushing back in from the west. Coventry is recording 8 degrees. Wolverhampton and Stoke-on-Trent are slightly cooler at 7 degrees. Worcester and Hereford, closer to the Welsh border, are milder at 9 degrees, but wetter, sitting right in the path of those rain-bearing fronts rolling in from the Atlantic. Oxford and Cambridge, those two great university cities, are both at 9 degrees with overcast skies and intermittent rain. Norwich in East Anglia is faring slightly better than the rest of the country, sitting furthest from the Atlantic weather systems, but it is still cloudy with temperatures dropping from 9 degrees to around 4 degrees overnight. Now here is the section I promised you, the north. And this is where things take a dramatic turn. Newcastle upon Tyne is at 8 degrees this evening under overcast skies with scattered showers, but the wind coming off the North Sea carries a vicious chill, and the feels-like temperature is significantly lower than what the thermometer reads. Sheffield is at 9 degrees. Leeds sits at its February average of around 8 degrees by day, 4 degrees overnight. York, that magnificent ancient city, is wrapped in drizzle and light rain tonight. Keep your waterproofs close. But here is the plot twist for the north, and this is crucial. The Met Office is warning that by Thursday there is a real prospect of snow falling on the Pennines. That is just 2 days away. The mild spell you are experiencing right now is about to be ripped away and replaced by something dramatically colder. If you live anywhere in northern England, particularly in the hills, you need to start preparing now. Temperatures are going to plummet, and the rain that is falling tonight will turn to snow on higher ground by the end of the week. Manchester in the northwest is at 6 to 7 degrees with complete cloud cover. The day peaked at only 8 degrees with a 35% chance of rain. Liverpool is similar at 7 degrees, but the winds are stronger thanks to its coastal position on the Irish Sea. Both cities are forecast to remain unsettled and frequently wet, with heavy and prolonged rain and the possibility of snow on higher hills by Thursday. Now Wales. Cardiff is at 8 degrees with a yellow warning in force. The chance of rain is 40%, but the southern counties are catching the heaviest falls. Swansea on the Gower Peninsula is getting battered by stronger winds given its direct exposure to the sea. And I must issue a serious word here about the mountains of North Wales. Snowdonia and the surrounding uplands are enduring dreadful conditions tonight. Mist, low cloud, near constant rain, and cold winds sweeping across the ridges. If you had any plans for hill walking or outdoor activity in the Welsh mountains, postpone them. Tonight is absolutely not the night. Crossing into Scotland now, and the temperature drops noticeably. Edinburgh is at 5 degrees, a full 2 degrees colder than London. The day managed just 6 degrees. Rain is becoming more persistent and determined as the evening progresses, with strengthening southeasterly winds pushing the feels-like temperature down to perhaps 2 or 3 degrees. If you are stepping out in Edinburgh tonight, a warm coat is not optional. Glasgow is even a fraction colder, hovering at 5 degrees with a high of only 6 degrees during the day. Normally, Glasgow bears the brunt of Atlantic weather, but tonight with the wind blowing from the southeast, Edinburgh is actually getting hit harder. Aberdeen is the city I am most concerned about tonight. The Met Office has issued a specific yellow warning for Aberdeen and eastern Scotland. Persistent and at times heavy rain is falling onto ground that is already thoroughly saturated. Rainfall totals of 15 to 30 millimeters are expected across a wide area, with 40 to 60 millimeters possible over higher ground. And here is the detail that should make everyone in Aberdeenshire sit up. By the end of tonight, some snow may begin to affect the highest roads. This is the leading edge of the cold air that is going to transform the weather picture across the entire country by the end of the week. The Highlands are in even rougher shape. Mist and low cloud cling to every mountain. Above 700 meters, the rain is already turning to snow. Visibility is terrible, with cloud bases sitting between 400 and 600 meters. This is absolutely not a night for the hills. Finally, Northern Ireland. Belfast is at 6 to 7 degrees under thick, unbroken cloud. The morning started with low cloud and mist, but was relatively dry. By the afternoon, rain arrived, some of it heavy, with freshening easterly winds. The ground is saturated, rivers are running high, and any additional rainfall could push them over their banks. Remember, Storm Chandra brought gusts of 60 to 75 miles per hour to eastern Northern Ireland just weeks ago. The scars from that are still visible, and tonight the rain keeps falling. Now here is the moment I promised you at the start. The exact timing of when this misery ends. Wednesday remains thoroughly unsettled with widespread rain continuing across the whole country. A spell of heavy rain will push into the south, followed by some sunshine and showers. This is still firmly in the grip of that blocked jet stream pattern. Thursday is the turning point. Temperatures drop markedly. It gets colder and brighter. The rain eases for many, but wintry showers arrive, particularly in the north and east. This is when snow becomes a real factor across northern England, Scotland, and the Welsh mountains. Friday brings strong coastal winds, so if you are near the coast, be prepared for that. And then Saturday. Mark this date. Saturday could finally deliver a dry, cold, and sunny day for many parts of the country. After what feels like an eternity of grey skies and relentless rain, Saturday offers a genuine window of relief. Cold, yes, but dry and bright. So there is your timeline. Tonight through Wednesday, more of the same miserable wet weather with the southwest, Wales, and eastern Scotland taking the worst of it. Thursday, the dramatic cold shift begins with snow on higher ground. Friday, coastal winds. Saturday, finally a break. Here is what I need you to do right now. If you are heading out tonight, wear a proper waterproof coat, not a jacket that is merely water resistant, a proper waterproof. Take an umbrella. Put on shoes that will not let the water in. If you are driving, reduce your speed, keep your headlights on, and watch for standing water. Check the Environment Agency flood warnings before you set off, particularly if you are in the southwest, Wales, or eastern Scotland. And honestly, if you do not absolutely need to be out tonight, stay home. Put the kettle on. Let the rain hammer against the window pane while you are warm and dry on the other side of it. Now remember, I asked you to comment your location below. Do that right now and I will give you a more detailed breakdown for your specific area. I read and reply to every comment. One more thing before I go. Southampton on the south coast is sitting at around 9 degrees tonight with cloud and light rain and moderate southeasterly winds. And for those of you along the southern coastline from Portsmouth to Folkestone, the moisture being drawn up from the English Channel is keeping conditions thoroughly damp. Let me quickly recap the key numbers so they stick in your mind. Plymouth, 65% chance of rain tonight, the highest in the country. Aberdeen, 14 days without a single hour of sunshine, breaking a 69-year record. January rainfall across the southwest, 50% above average. Snow possible on the Pennines and in Aberdeenshire from Thursday. And Saturday, your best chance of dry, bright weather in what feels like an eternity. And here is something you will want to know. Tomorrow's forecast could contain a surprise that none of the major weather services are talking about yet. There is a developing weather system over the Atlantic that could dramatically change the outlook for the weekend. I will have full details in my next update, so make sure you do not miss it.